Susan Oyatsi to lead us in the prayer. Welcome.
In the name of to lead us well. We have a beautiful country and we
We take our seats. Your Excellency, the President. And distinguished guests, Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, I public service and to take.
The President, Your Excellency, all principals present, the chairperson, members of the committee, all the ceremony is convened. Principles of 10 motion. Government. Your Excellency, economy 108 of the decision by the nation's top policy transformation agenda. Subsequently, following cabinet decision, the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, person and members of the committee, cite Kenya Gazette number 1335. Person, members, and the Secretariat of the committee, we have convened this afternoon for the inauguration of this task team. With Your Excellency's kind indulgence, permit me now to invite the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning to make his brief remarks and progress today's program. CS.
Thank you. Thank you and good afternoon. Before I even make my remarks, I just wanted Your Excellency to invite the PS so that we can actually see the members of the committee that we are actually ushering to this afternoon. Dr. Kipto.
Your Excellency, the President, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and may I say all protocol observed. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the members of the pending bills verification committee. And as I call your name, you come forward so that they can see you. The chairperson is Edward Ouko. Then the vice chairperson is Tirop Koskei. Members of the pending bills verification committee, Ali Abdurazak, former PS, Esbon Omolo, is here, Eric Wanyango Gumo, Patience Mulondo, James Washington Munene Gitonga, Bernard Ndungu, DG Accountant Services, Nicholas Munyoki Mutua, James Kungu, want to be seeing you, that's Kungu, Cassius Kushenya, Peter Kideka, Margaret Kishimu, Maximus Siwa, Kanini Ndhika, Livingstone Mburu, David Kipchumba Ruto, Susan Oyatsi. Your Excellency, we have a joint secretaries. They have also been gazetted. And the first is Geoffrey Malombe. That is Geoffrey works with the National Treasury. And to represent the Executive Office of the President, we have Oliver Karori. Your Excellency, this is the team that will be carrying out this exercise. We are prepared at the National Treasury to support them. Already we have a strategy that we have in place. They have clear terms of reference. We have identified an office at the National Bank building from where they will operate. And without saying more, because my CS is here, will speak to the rest, I would like to invite the chairman just to make a few remarks on behalf of the team.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, the President, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Your Excellency, Prime Cabinet Secretary, the CS, Treasury, the CS is present, the Governor of Nairobi, as well as the Speaker. I'm sorry, I'm used to the old system. I better come back to the new system. The Attorney General. Your Excellency, first of all, on behalf of these people and myself, I must thank you for the honor and opportunity you are giving us to be able to come and serve our country. The pending bills is an issue which, of course, is very well known as a problem economically and otherwise. And I believe that through you and through the Kenya Kwanza government, there is now a serious push to show that the government is serious about projecting that it's a government that is ready to do business, and that it is a government that the people, the businessmen and the Kenyans can have faith in doing business with through this committee. I also believe that through this committee, we are going to start a new beginning whereby the credibility of government is going to be respected in every sense. And I think with that respectability, we are going to, at least in a small way, start showing that the government is serious about resuscitating the economy. In fact, it is part of a small way of pumping back a very needed capital into the productivity. So we are very grateful. I really don't want to say much, but I must say much about something about this team. When I look at the team, Your Excellency, I scanned through the number of years, the areas they come from and all that, and I think within here you have more than 300 years of experience that will be brought into this, into this activity. And beyond that, I think it's the multidisciplinary nature of the team. We have from the accountant, QSs, lawyers, and in fact, even other businessmen. So we have a broad range of experience to bring, and therefore we can only assure you, Your Excellency, that you have a team which is going to give credibility and will be fair in making this report eventually to you. So with those few remarks, Your Excellency, allow me to thank you very much again on behalf of my team and the CS Treasury for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Let's give them another round of applause. Congratulations, you may now be seated. I think I will now call on CS to take over. And as he does this, Your Excellency, just to assure you that from the brief we have, we are told His Excellency President Kibaki, through Gazette number 297 on 14 January 2005, he did something like this. He created a committee which ended up in a situation where we settled all pending bills. Then again, we started the era of accumulating. So CS has given clear directions to all accounting officers that this year, going forward, there is no pending bill for every accounting officer. You clear your bills. We have crossed this financial year of 23-24 with 77.5 billion pending bills, which we have said become first charge of this year's budget, and we regularize through supplementary. And then this team will work from last year backwards up to 2005, where Kibaki left. And we settle, we have agreed with the IMF that we'll, whatever is determined as payable, we will put in the fiscal framework, recognize them in the fiscal framework, whether it's paid once, twice, 3 times, it will depend on the space. I think I now welcome CS to come. Welcome.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, the Deputy President, His Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable AG, and even the Governor of the Nairobi County, you're going to be the beneficiary of this. It's very nice, Your Excellency, that even the PS is reporting what we actually told our supervisor, the finance and planning committee of the parliament. That's where I left him. And I think this is one of the messages that we wanted to showcase, because that's the only way we are going to actually introduce some discipline in terms of the fiscal management. This is extremely important to Your Excellency's activity. And it is my pleasure to be here today and actually to invite you to witness this inauguration, because these members are quite experienced, as the chairman has said. And we do believe that they are going to make a case in terms of institutionalizing what we really need to integrate and make sure that it's part of our system in terms of financial management. Your Excellency, the private sector is our great, in this great nation, plays a key role in the economy. And it is important that in pushing the economic vibrancy, we have to support them. And one of the ways of supporting them is actually to have fiscal incentives as well as fiscal actions that are actually supportive to the private sector. It provides, the private sector provides employment opportunities to our citizens, but more importantly, is a key source of export of goods for foreign exchange. Your Excellency, given that they have a critical role to play, as a government, we have to endeavor to provide a conducive environment for the sector to thrive by addressing the constraints that hinder their growth, development, and even advancement. Today in Parliament, one of the things that I was told is that most of the pending bills are from small and medium enterprises. Most of those pending bills are actually collapsing the private sector itself, because they have their assets actually being auctioned. So in a sense, they're actually saying government actions are very, very important for their survival. So Your Excellency, in fact, the recent statistics, according to the quarterly budget economic review, it's showing that the total outstanding national government pending bills as of June 30th, 2023 amounted to 567 billion. And they were comprised of 435 billion, 443.6 billion for state corporations and semi-autonomous government agencies, and 123.9 billion for ministries, departments, and agencies. And during the same period, counties reported 164.8 billion. And this is, again, quite surmountable amounts of resources that are owed to specific institutions. In fact, some of those are businesses that could have multiplied their work and even their activities. So, Your Excellency, the work of this committee is thus to cut out this and make sure that we have some permanence in terms of our business opportunities and even our business focus in terms of activities. This committee will work to restore trust and confidence between the private sector and the government. There are so many who believe that you can do business with the government, but there are so many who actually add that risk to the pricing just because they may not be paid. Would like to have an honest business where actually the pricing does not encourage risk that may not be surmountable, or that may not come out. We want to make sure that the business is actually clear. The National Treasury, through the approval of the Cabinet, has established the committee to undertake the following duties. First, they will scrutinize and analyze all the existing stock of government pending bills submitted to the committee. They will advise on reforms and measures that will ensure future accumulation of pending bills is avoided, just like the PS has said. Third, they will make recommendations to the National Treasury for payment or otherwise for claims, as well as other actions considered necessary for satisfactory disposal of bills and claims. Fourth, they will also give us some directions in terms of what will happen in future. One of the things that I've told them is that they are going to have so many institutions of government to help them in terms of verifying and even safeguarding the honesty of this process. And we do believe that they are going to make, or they are going to come up with a fantastic job that gives us credibility and finality of this process. These are just a few remarks because we are going to be there for a long time in terms of verifying what is going to be given, but I'm sure the committee will take a bit of a short time. But the most important thing is the implications in the long term for the economy. So with these few remarks, please allow me to invite His Excellency, the Deputy President, to make a few remarks and invite you to actually usher this committee, which Kenyan public and even private sector has been waiting for. We do believe that it's going to be an important step. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, our President, Dr. William Ruto, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the CSS President, members of this distinguished committee, good afternoon. Your Excellency, this is a great milestone in our republic, taking into consideration that for the last 10 years or so, many Kenyan entrepreneurs, especially the ones doing small businesses, have suffered a lot because of pending bills. Again, this has created a management problem in every state department because every year you have to struggle with pending bills that interferes with the budgetary allocations. We are therefore very grateful that the people of Kenya will see a very serious undertaking for the first time in a long time to sort out this problem once and for all. I'm encouraged by the team I've seen here. I have encountered most of them in my earlier life as a public servant. They are men and women of great repute, and I have no doubt in my mind that they'll exercise good discretion with integrity and analyze these bills so that those that are payable can be paid, and where there are cases that the bills are not genuine, then the taxpayer is not overburdened with bills that should not be. We therefore want to encourage the team to work with speed and diligence so that we can sort out this problem once and for all, so that those who worked for government and are owed are able to be paid, and this problem can be put behind us. I therefore want to say congratulations to the team, and all of us are looking forward to a fruitful conclusion of this exercise so that the people of Kenya can be able to move forward. With those few remarks, please be upstanding and help me to usher in the President of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. President.
Make very brief remarks. Let me just assist my Cabinet Secretary with some housekeeping manenos. I am not a very good mathematician, but being a scientist, I know something about maths. When I looked at the composition of the committee, it was clear to me that it was unconstitutional because it lacked the gender balance. There are only 4 women out of a whole committee of 20. I respectfully suggest, Mr. Minister, that you either reduce the number of men or you add the number of women so that it is constitutional. I think it's time we begin to live in accordance with the principles of the Constitution without paying lip service. It is my pleasure to congratulate the Chairman, Mr. Uko, and the Vice Chair, and the members of the Pending Bills Verification Committee for your appointment. As you are all aware, when I took office, I committed to bring the matter of public sector pending bills to a speedy and conclusive resolution. As we are all aware again, the last time there was an effort to alleviate this challenge of pending bills was about 17 years ago. It is yet another moment in our history that we need to clean our slate and do justice to everybody, especially the people who do business with government, and more particularly, the micro, small, and medium enterprises that are the largest suppliers of government, who today, our stock of pending bills is all the way to above 600 billion. That is the money government at various levels owe our suppliers. Many, I think almost 100% Kenyan, but many of them also small businesses. The government is therefore committed to meeting its obligation as and when they fall due as a matter of policy and legal obligation. Besides a culture of overdue pending bills, it serves no purpose other than to drive business into ruin, force micro, small, and medium enterprises to shut down, and increase unemployment, leading to general underperformance in our economy. It is the duty of government to facilitate better economic performance through expeditious resolution of government expenditures, reduce pending bills, and restore confidence of suppliers and other stakeholders. This will generate hope to our great men and women who have ventured into the micro, small, and medium enterprise space and desire to provide efficient, effective services and goods to government. The government promised creditors that we shall advise them on the mechanism for the resolution of genuine outstanding payments. We have therefore constituted this committee as promised, and this is a clear demonstration that we are committed to settling verified pending bills owed by government within the shortest time possible. It is my understanding, Minister, and your team from Treasury, that this team has up to June next year, which is just under a year to discharge this responsibility. I was encouraged further when the chair, Mr. Uko, said that you have a cumulative experience of 300 years. That means that this is going to be a job that you can discharge pretty fast. So I am looking forward to the speedy resolution of this subject so that we can account for the resources that have been spent and we can pay our bills. I am even more confident that with Mr. Uko, who has been telling us in his other life which bills are payable, which ones are not payable, who has done what and who has not done what. Now, I am very confident that no bill that is not worth paying for will be paid for, because Mr. Uko, in your other life, you are very keen, and you wrote many reports on who should not be paid because they did not meet the required status of payment. So I believe that with all the people in that team, I see many former PSS, people who are knowledgeable in government operations, people who are knowledgeable on government procurement, and all the other people in that team. So I am very confident that we have the right team, save for the small matter of gender. We have the right team to deliver on this promise, and I hope that other matter the minister is going to correct. It is on this understanding that the Pending Bills Verification Committee has been established to advise on the most effective and efficient way of reducing the pain experienced by suppliers. And I'm aware that some have had their property auctioned and are being pursued, some of them by creditors. Some have even ended up in difficult medical conditions and many other things. This subject of pending bills is good for nobody. It is not good for our suppliers because it impoverishes them. It is not good for government because it increases our debt and complicates our budget-making process. So the sooner we resolve this matter, the better for everybody. The better for our economy, the better for our suppliers, the better for those who are planning our budget, and the better for us and our management of our debt burden as a country. So it is the right thing to do at this point in time. And so let me say, for the avoidance of doubt, that this committee is very important to us as an administration. It's a commitment that we made. And we have, and I'm happy the minister has identified a knowledgeable, credible team with sufficient experience to undertake this important exercise. As I have told you, there is already a pending bill out there, owed by government, at both levels, at the national and county, with all parastatals and all the other auxiliary bodies, of close to 640 billion. That is a huge amount of money on either side, to suppliers and also on the government books. And therefore, it is important for us to resolve this matter, and we can then predict our future much more accurately. It is also the reason that we are having a supplementary budget in Parliament. We have made a commitment as an administration that we are going to start with this year. Even as we look on last year, the year before, all the way to 2005, we are going to start with this year. And we have sent to Parliament an adjustment to the budget so that the pending bills that would have come into this year are sorted out. And 77 billion odd of pending bills, we have instructed that they be subsumed into this year's budget, and it becomes the first charge of every ministry, every department, and I want to say it should be the case for every county government, so that we can deal with pending bills as a matter of course, not wait until they impoverish people, they cause complications in our budget, and they load us with so much debt. It is therefore expected, Mr. Uko and team, that within the shortest time possible, you will be able to provide a clear framework for the resolution of the pending bills owed by government, as well as make concrete recommendations on which claims are payable, having ascertained that goods and services were delivered to government. The government will ensure there is a complete stop to the accumulation of pending bills given their adverse effects on the economy, the private sector, and even more severely on our micro, small, and medium enterprises and government suppliers. It is my expectation that this committee will analyze and scrutinize thoroughly any pending bills claim submitted before making recommendations for payment, including adherence to the provision of the law. I am also well aware that there may be a few cases in which the government consumed goods and services, but the documentation is not complete. In this case, the government will rely on your recommendations to resolve such complex disputes in a fair and just manner to facilitate and instill confidence in government and in the economy. It will be the responsibility of the claimants to submit their claims to your committee. In addition, the committee should put the onus of proof vis-à-vis the veracity of the pending bills on the individual contractors and their consultants and the people on their side. In undertaking its mandate, the Pending Bills Verification Committee is urged to take into consideration challenges identified in the reports of previous committees on verification of pending bills and apply them appropriately for speedy resolution. And I am very clear in my mind that this is a national exercise of very significant importance, and we are looking to these very able Kenyans and team identified by the Ministry of Finance to work on this very noble but necessary and important assignment to get Kenya on the right footing so that we know what we owe and we can then design how we are going to pay and alleviate the challenges that have bedeviled many enterprises, suppliers, and many people who have done business with government. Government must lead the way in facilitating business, and part of facilitating business is paying our dues when they are due, or getting our obligations, managing our obligations, and paying when it is due for us to pay. And that is why we have said that beginning this year, we are sending back the budget so that pending bills become a fast charge and we don't transfer 1 year's pending bills to the next. We sort them out before so that we avoid this accumulation. And I expect the National Treasury and all the other agencies to make sure that this is done. This morning, I had an engagement with members of parliament on all the other interventions, the change that we are proposing on the PFM law, so that also we can manage public debt in a context that is understood and in a context that every stakeholder is brought on board. We are also proposing to change the PFM law to also take care of multi-year projects that have for a long time caused a lot of complication, because 1 year's budget is factored in without thinking about what's going to happen next year. Now, all of it is going to be captured so that we can manage our expectations, we can manage our budget, and much more importantly, we can manage our public debt, because we don't want to be in the situation that we are now again. And for us to avoid being where we are today is to make sure that we plan ourselves appropriately. With these few remarks, I now declare this Pending Bills Verification Committee officially inaugurated and wish you all the best as you settle down to work for our nation. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. There was a request for a photograph with the committee. So with your kind indulgence, we could